Mexico is starting to see COVID-19 cases grow despite efforts to slow the disease. If we haven't hit 1,000 by the time this airs, we'll probably get there this weekend. The governor, I should say, has extended the order through April, ordering more businesses like liquor stores, car dealers, and payday lenders to close immediately. Our line panel this week, Dede Feldman, line regular and former state senator. Daniel Foley, another line regular and former state representative. And a welcome guest, editorial page editor for the Santa Fe New Mexican, Inez Russell Gomez. She's here with us as well. Thank you all for joining remotely, of course. Inez, how is Santa Fe responding to tightened restrictions on businesses that the governor has deemed and instituted this week? What's been the impact on business?
Well, obviously, everyone that has shut down is hurting. People are without income, they're without places to go, all of those kinds of things. It's very hard. However, there's been a real, I think, understanding that if we stay away from each other, this pain is sharp but temporary, and we will get back on our feet. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of respect for the governor being firm and decisive and not fooling around.
Right. Daniel, the idea that businesses can, you work in a kind of business, very high touch, you got to be around people to make deals, close deals, that kind of thing. Is remotely getting it done for folks, or can we actually pull this off? I mean, some of these businesses cannot be done remotely. You can't do a payday loan remotely. You can't buy liquor remotely. So, it's a tough deal for a lot of folks.
Well, I think you can do a payday loan remotely. I think we're going to learn there's a lot of things we can actually do remotely that we didn't think we could. Look, we're busier than we've ever been. Obviously, being in the insurance business, people are calling us to find out what's going on, where are they. I think there's no doubt that the longer this goes, the greater change in our daily life is going to occur from this. I think that I got to tell you, one of the things that I think is going to be a huge shock to people, I think, is going to be education. I think, people saying, hey, let me load my kid back up and send them to school, whether it's K through 12 or college, I think it's going to change. I think there's a real mindset that's going to change. They're going to say, why don't they just stay here and do it on the computer and do the things they do? Because I'm watching even my own kids at the college level. So I think there's going to be some significant changes in what we do in our normal day-to-day life going forward. There's no doubt about that. Look, I think the governor's handled this very well. I think she's done a great job. My only criticism is, and this is a typical criticism from a conservative, I just hate when we start picking winners and losers, right? I mean, why can we all go to Walmart, but we can't go to Joe's liquor store? Why can we all go? I mean, I get why we can't, but it just seems like, either you should say people can go to these stores and you can have no more than 10% of the population in that store, or nobody should be out. And so, we're telling the mom and pop store at the end of the corner that they got to close, but we're telling the Walmarts of the world that they get to stay open.
I've heard this point from a few folks. That makes a lot of sense. If the liquor store takes care to have only so many people in, does the thing on the floor to kind of tape out where you can stand, what's the problem?
And I think it's the ones that it's hurting them the most, right? I mean, the average small business has, 9 days of cash on hand,
right?
So, I mean, we're to that point. The other thing I will say that I hope, if the governor's folks are listening, I've heard a lot of criticism about the workforce solutions, that people are calling, trying to fill out the forms. They get no acknowledgement that they filled out the form. They can't get anybody on the phone. Last night, I was reading that the form for small business people to get an immediate $700, they had to take it down because it didn't work right. So
that's right.
We're going to have some bumps and bruises. I'm not criticizing for that, but I think that we need to make sure that we're as vocal about getting on these websites. We need to be as vocal getting out in front of the media and saying, hey, wait a minute, everybody, the website's not working correctly yet. Give us a couple days. But I've heard a lot of criticisms about, we file for unemployment. We haven't heard anything.
Right.
We haven't acknowledged anything. We can't get anybody. So I think, how we handle this is going to really be dictated on how quickly we can address these issues. I mean,
let me go to Dede on that point. There's an interesting point there. You just made that last bit there. The NPR's The Indicator podcast had an interesting thing you might have seen, Dede, in your Facebook feed, going back to 1918, that showed that cities that did take care and were very aggressive actually rebounded business-wise much quicker than cities that didn't. And that might bode well for New Mexico, given what the governor has put in place. Would you agree with that, Dee
Yes,
Feldman?
I
Sorry.
would agree with that. And I think that the reason is that if you take strict measures in the beginning, the incidence of disease will decrease. And that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid of going out because there is disease and contagion. And so if you address that head on, then you have a better chance of more people getting back to normal quicker than you would if you prematurely said, okay, let's get back to work. And then a second round of contagion and disease came up.
That's right.
And that's what has happened. That's what happened in 1918 in cities like Philadelphia, where they did not take social distancing measures. Quite the contrary. They had big parades and so on.
Inez, another interesting sort of offshoot of this, Inez Russell Gomez, is this idea of payday loans. Let's think about it this way. For a lot of folks, that would probably be a fairly attractive situation at some point in a couple of weeks, because, you know, a debt spiral could be just murder for some folks. What do we do about the payday loan thing? Is that an appropriate deal to just shut them down like that and shut off an avenue of money that could be very helpful for some people, even given what we know about interest rates and all that, Inez? How should we approach that?
That's a really hard question, because yes, it's an avenue of money, but if you don't have debt spiral now, you will have it later, because payday loans can be almost usury. So if you can't afford the interest rates, then getting the loan is only going to put you further behind. So maybe closing them down is the way to stop further pain. Again, it's a sharp measure now to stop further pain later. I also wonder if part of the restrictions is just to stop people from going so many places. So if you go to Walmart and get everything you need at Walmart, that does hurt the mom and pop stores. It does hurt the other businesses, but you're only stopping one place. The idea is to go out as few places as possible. So if you can't go to a payday loan shop, then that's yet another place where you won't be able to pick up the virus. And as Dan said, they can do that online if they have to. And I bet you that there's going to be, call this number and Joe Smooth will give you a loan.
Right.
They're going to do it another way. They want to make money. And the people who can adapt are the ones that are going to succeed, whether the governor shuts their physical business down or not.
Right. Gun and ammo shops have been deemed non-essential, and they are closed. A lot of folks I'm seeing online and on Facebook are having a real problem with that. In simple terms, they feel like having a gun and your ammunition to put in it is, in fact, essential. How should we approach that with gun shops?
That's, you know, obviously that's the conservatives' theory always, right? We love to get in our little groups in the garage and talk about how the government's taking all our guns all the time, and feeds that mantra, right? All of a sudden you can't buy a gun, you know, you can't buy ammunition. You know, I think that there's, this is again, another example, right? I mean, is it the right thing to do to say that people can't go out and purchase ammunition and purchase weapons at a time that they feel like they need them for safety purposes? I don't know. I mean, the governor's made it clear that, you know, again, it just, the sad part is, the frustrating part is, it seems like, which everybody does, whether it's the president or the governor, so this is not a partisan statement from me. Everybody, you know, as most politicians will tell you, never let a good crisis go to waste.
There you go. We'll have to leave it there and pivot to homelessness and the people who are particularly at risk.